Hey folks, welcome into the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. I'm your host, Tony Edward. On your way in, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Spotify or Apple, please leave a 5-star rating and review. Folks, the chop continues in the market. Bitcoin currently at $103,000. It was at over $106,000, but again, the grind just continues and we could see some further downside. So just be mentally prepared for that. There are some CME gaps at 97,000, 95,000. Doesn't mean it has to go down and fill those gaps, but the possibility is there. One of the things we've been monitoring is that on the daily chart, the bears are losing momentum right now. So let's see if the bulls can take control and we can get this show on the road. But look, we don't have a crystal ball, but we're looking at the data and the multiple factors that are out there. And I still believe the higher probability falls on the bull case. I don't believe we have seen the top of the market. But as always, we got to wait to see how things play out and continue to monitor the data. One thing I like is crypto currently shared a Bitcoin chart just showing the breakouts, the false breakdowns, the false breakouts, and the breakdown. So it's a really great chart, and I highly recommend you follow crypto currently on YouTube as well as on X. And Bitcoin's still holding key support levels like the 50-week SMA, which it closed the weekly, which was a very positive sign. It's just the grind here, right? For it to find that bottom and then move upwards. But it's going to take some time. We got to get out of this hole. But overall, the macro structure is still intact. Now, something that doesn't help us is Jim Cramer started posting positive things about blockchain and crypto. He tweeted out today, "We could really use some blockchain on a day like today." So inverse Kramer, if he's tweeting positive things about crypto, be fearful, right? Be bearish. If he is posting bearish, negative things about crypto, time to be bullish, right? So this is unfortunately the game that we're playing here. Now, some very big news, folks. SoFi, the fintech bank, becomes the first nationally chartered US bank to launch Bitcoin and crypto trading. This is pretty big. So we are seeing banks across the globe launching crypto services, whether that be crypto trading, crypto custody, stable coins. Some of them are looking to tokenize and much more. So fintech bank SoFi rolled out crypto trading to all retail customers on Tuesday. The move sets the pace as the first several of national banks planning similar moves in the coming months. SoFi previously gave customers the ability to buy, sell, and hold crypto through its app, but it agreed to shutter that service 2 years ago to obtain approval for its national banking license. So they had sunsetted the service before, and it was under Operation Choke Point 2.0, and they wanted to make sure they get their national banking license. And you had to go through the Elizabeth Warren crew who are in charge of things, but that's no longer the case. So now that they have their license and there's a favorable environment for crypto, legislation's around the corner, we are seeing the launch of this service. So that's very bullish. You have these major on-ramps for crypto, and it's going to bring in millions, even billions eventually. So let me play a clip of what the CEO of SoFi had to say on CNBC this morning.
Nice to see you, sir, in person.
Good to see you as well.
Okay, so what's going on here? This is a big deal.
Yeah, this morning,
a very big deal for you.
It is a very big deal. It's a big day and a big milestone. Reverses the course of time.
It does.
We've wanted to be a one-stop shop for all your financial services needs, and one of the holes we've had for the last 2 years was in cryptocurrency, the ability to buy, sell, and hold crypto. We were not allowed to do that as a bank. It was not permissible. But in March of this year, the OCC came out with an interpretive letter that it's now permissible for banks like SoFi to offer cryptocurrencies. So this morning we're launching as the only national bank, the first and only national bank, the opportunity to buy, sell, and hold cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana.
So I was going to ask, are we just talking about 3 for now?
We'll expand well beyond 3. It'll be a pretty broad assortment. We try to differentiate on being fast, having broad selection, great prices, ease of use. So we'll try to give members, SoFi members, as much selection as they would like.
And what's the difference between going through you and going through Coinbase or going through Robinhood or somebody else?
Yeah, there's a couple of really big differences. First, we're a nationally chartered bank, which means we have the infrastructure, the processes, the financial conditions that provides the safeguards that a consumer would expect from a bank, which is going to allow us to scale responsibly. The second thing is because we are a one-stop shop, you can do all your banking, checking and savings at SoFi, your borrowing and your investing, and now crypto. And one of the unique things about that is when you come to SoFi and fund your crypto investments, you'll fund them in a SoFi checking and savings account. That checking and savings account's deposits earn interest.
Say that again. You're going to fund it with crypto?
You're going to fund
your checking account.
You're going to fund your checking account with cash.
Okay.
And then when you buy
Right.
Bitcoin or Solana or Ethereum, the money will come straight out of your checking savings account. So when you're not putting cash to work, it's not sitting in an account that earns no interest, and it's not sitting in an account that's not insured. So the money will sit in an FDIC insured account. Up to $2 million is what we offer. And when you buy, it will instantly withdraw from that account and send it to the marketplace.
So there you have it, straight from the horse's mouth, guys. Very bullish news. And we know game theory is going to play out here. The other banks are going to launch their services. So this is going to help, once again, bring in tons of people into the market, and could be really a really great setup for, as far as an on-ramp, to bring in the average Joe and Jane retail crowd as we head to the final blow off top of this market, where we see the euphoria greed phase, right? So very big news here. Now, this episode is brought to you by Trezor. Trezor makes beautiful hardware wallets that make it easy for you to self-custody your crypto assets. Many of you know I'm a big believer in self-custody. I've been preaching about this for years, and I'm a user of the Trezor devices. I personally have the Trezor Safe 5 and the Trezor Safe 7, which is the new device. The Safe 7 has top-of-the-line security. It's quantum ready. It has new design, new glass, and much more. It's an amazing device, guys. It's top of the line with a new chip and much more. Now, Trezor, they were the ones who pioneered the hardware wallets back in 2013. So they've been at this for a long time, and they started the whole thing, creating the seed phrase setup and much more. So they know what they're doing, and their wallets are open source, meaning the code is out there for everybody to see. So that's how much they trust their code and their security. And they support all the major crypto assets, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Cardano, and much more, even new tokens such as BlackRock's BUIDL. They have a great software called Trezor Suite, which allows you to manage your crypto assets. You can buy and sell within that app as well. And folks, they also have a hand-holding service that makes it easy for you to set up your device. And don't worry, their customer service reps do not ask you for your private keys. So that is not part of the process, but if you have questions, they can help you. So that's a great service that they have. And folks, if you use my code ThinkingCrypto, all one word, ThinkingCrypto, you can get 5% off certain devices that they have for sale. So check out Trezor. I'm a user of the device, guys. I absolutely believe in it, and I believe in self-custody. So check them out. Link will be in the description. Now, folks, we continue to get news that Canary Capital is going to launch their XRP spot ETF this week, and possibly that may be Thursday. That seems to be the date. Now, I think I mentioned I interviewed the CEO and the founder and the CEO of Canary Capital, Stephen McClurg, on Monday. So I'm hoping to have that interview published this week as well. So this would be the first 100% spot ETF, having a 100% spot exposure. I know some of you are going to say, Tony, what about the REC shares XRP ETF? Well, Eleanor Terrett reported that while this was the first XRP ETF launched in the United States, it was done under the 40 Act, not the 33 Act. And it's a partial spot XRP ETF, so it's less efficient from a tax treatment standpoint. But the Canary Funds one that is set to launch is 100% the 33 Act, and it is 100% XRP pure spot. So it is the normal run-of-the-mill spot ETF versus what REC Shares is offering. So that's the difference. So this Canary Capital XRP ETF, if it goes live on Thursday, would be the first. It's truly spot XRP ETF. So let's see, guys. This is very bullish for the market. There are some people, who look at ETFs as though it's something bad or it's not going to drive the price up. But the point is, people are buying the assets and it's sitting in the ETF and it's building awareness and it's allowing mom and pop and the average Joe and Jane to be able to get exposure to the asset class. So you do have the sentiment effect. You do have the asset being bought. So if the supply is being bought up by a lot of ETF issuers, in addition to digital asset treasury companies and much more, these are all great things for the assets you hold. Just look at what it did for Bitcoin, right? And Ethereum. So this is not a negative. I see some people saying, oh, XRP ETFs are not going to do anything. That is so uneducated. How can it not do anything when you're setting up a major on-ramp for people to be able to invest in the asset, right? So it just doesn't make sense. Plus, again, you have the sentiment aspect throughout the market. So keep an eye on Thursday, guys. And like I said, I'll try to get that interview out for you guys so you can hear directly from the CEO of Canary Funds. Now, there's some news around Chainlink and the Chainlink ETF. Apparently, the Bitwise Chainlink ETF has been added to the DTCC eligibility list. And we got a report here that such a listing is part of the standard clearing and settlement preparation process and does not indicate that the ETF has received regulatory approval or completed any other required approvals. But we're seeing progress here. So Chainlink is a big one, right? That is a top 15, top 20 asset and getting a lot of adoption. I was just at Chainlink SmartCon, interviewed Sergey Nazarov and a bunch of other people from Chainlink. So incredible stuff here. We're going to see a lot of altcoin ETFs. So this is really good, and it's going to allow more capital to come into these ecosystems respectively. And of course, we're waiting for the SEC with the US government to open to approve the flurry of other XRP and Solana ETFs, and in addition to these other altcoin ETFs, guys. So again, we got some macro factors on the horizon, which are really great, like the government fully reopening, which will allow the SEC to get back to work and approve altcoin ETFs, and for the Senate and Congress as a whole to start putting more work into the market structure bill, which is currently in the Senate. So we're seeing progress there. So these are major milestones, like I said, that I don't think will be happening in a bear market after the market is top, right? It just doesn't make sense. And then you include the macro factors like the Fed saying they're ending quantitative tightening on December 1st. You have a New York governor of the Fed saying they're going to return to QE very soon. That was just reported in the Wall Street Journal, right? I gave you guys that news last week. So you have all these major things on the horizon, and I think they are conducive to the bull market continuing. Just we're going to have to deal with some volatility. And I know some people may say, well, isn't now the time when the market usually pumps? But remember, like I've been saying ad nauseum, that Trump tariff announcement from early in the year pushed this timeline back, guys. So things are happening on a delayed timeline here. Again, look at Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high in August. Right? That is very rare. And this is why we're seeing October not doing anything. November so far, not great. Right? So don't be surprised if things are just on a different timeline and maybe we pump in December. I don't know, because it does seem like Bitcoin has some ways to go to get out of this hole. So I do believe this bull market spills into 2026. That's my honest assessment based on what I'm seeing overall from a macro perspective and much more. So let me know what you guys think about this news, especially the SoFi news. That's pretty big. Leave your thoughts and comments below. Hit the thumbs up button. Folks, a great way to support the podcast is by subscribing to my free email newsletter. It is 100% free. Link will be in the description. Check out my book on Amazon and my course at mycryptocourse.com. This is a comprehensive course that teaches you everything you need to know about crypto. Folks, thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you all, and I'll talk to you all later.